Faith Gemmill is the director of Red Oil, an organization that works with Native Alaskans whose traditional way of life has been threatened by the oil industry. In Copenhagen, she spoke out about the impact that fossil fuels is having on communities in the north.
When I talk about global warming in Alaska, I always say we're the canary in the mine. That canary is on life support. We have compounded impacts. We have impacts from climate change, impacts from massive energy development, mining. Last year alone, there were 77 wildfires throughout the state of Alaska simultaneously. When I fly over my homelands to go to my village, and I look down on my land, the lakes that were there are no longer there. They're dry because the permafrost is melting. It's like a bowl under the lakes. It holds the water, and as the permafrost melts, the tundra is like a sponge just soaking up the water. So lakes are empty. I come to the COP15 with hope that the governments of the world will do the right thing. They want to continue extracting for revenue. It's that profit at all cost, business as usual mentality. Governments of the world do not want to change what they're doing as far as how they relate to the earth. It's going to be all of humankind. We're all going to pay the consequences for what's happening to this earth. Red Oil was created to support the tribes that are dealing with these impending projects. We go to the media, we go to congressional offices, we travel internationally to these meetings, trying to talk to the decision makers, the governments. They're the ones making the decisions to act or not to act, trying to protect our land for our subsistence way of life. We live in remote communities. Our entire way of life is based on subsistence, hunting, fishing, gathering. There's a caribou herd that's near the field in Prudhoe Bay. It's called the Central Arctic herd. This herd, the oil companies always say, oh, the caribou hasn't been impacted by Prudhoe Bay. They love the pipeline. They just cozy up to the pipeline. The pipeline keeps the caribou warm in the winter. And they say there's no impacts to that herd. But there was a story in the Arctic Sounder a few years ago where an elder said that that herd is not fit to eat, that the meat was yellow in color. The corporation's bottom line is profit at all costs. The tribe's bottom line is the health and well-being of their community and the people. Those are two very different values, and they conflict. As Indigenous people, we have an obligation. We have to be the caretakers and the stewards. And if we are allowing these companies to come into our territories, and if we're supporting that sort of project, then we are not fulfilling what we are put here to do.
Join us next week when we travel to Western Canada, where we'll meet two educators who are introducing Aboriginal youth to traditional foods in Coast Salish territory.
When